El Mencho's story begins in the poor mountains of Michoacán, Mexico. Born in 1966, he grew up tending goats and picking fruit, surrounded by poverty. As the drug trade swept through, he crossed into California, was arrested for heroin trafficking, and deported. Back in Mexico, he joined the Nemesio Cartel. In chaos, El Mencho saw opportunity. The seeds of CJNG were about to sprout. The Jalisco New Generation Cartel was born in blood. In 2010, El Mencho broke away, forming a new group with his closest allies. The CJNG promised loyalty, discipline, and merciless violence. Their motto, "We are the absolute power." Their first move was explosive, declaring war on rivals and officials. El Mencho diversified, trafficking cocaine, meth, heroin, and fentanyl. El Mencho sat at the center, a shadowy king pulling invisible strings. El Mencho's rise triggered alarms in Mexico City and Washington, D.C. He was now public enemy number one. His cartel killed soldiers with RPGs, shot down helicopters, and ambushed elite police units. The violence forced governments to act. A multi-agency manhunt began, involving the DEA, FBI, Mexican Marines, and local police. Finding El Mencho was like hunting a ghost. He never slept in the same place twice. He traveled with a small, loyal group of bodyguards. Some were even family. He trusted no one. He used encrypted phones, safe houses hidden in the jungle, and bribed officials to leak any police movement. Each raid found only empty beds and burnt-out cars. Despite billions spent, El Mencho slipped away again and again. Rumors said he hid in the mountains of Jalisco, protected by locals who feared or loved him. Stories grew. Some called him a Robin Hood, others a demon. Tip lines rang, but each lead ended in dead ends or deadly shootouts. As the years passed, his legend only grew. The world watched, waiting for the day the king would fall. It began quietly, with months of surveillance and patient waiting. Mexican Marines, guided by U.S. intelligence, closed the net in early 2025. Drones scanned dense forests. Electronic signals were intercepted. Finally, a message, a trusted courier's routine slip, gave away his location. The raid happened at night, in a remote village deep in Jalisco's mountains. Black helicopters landed silently. Elite commandos moved swiftly, cutting off escape routes. Just before dawn, they stormed a ranch. Shots rang out. Guards fought desperately, but the operation was surgical, swift, precise, overwhelming. El Mencho was found in a back room. No grand shootout, just a quiet surrender. He looked tired, older than his years. The world's most wanted man was finally in handcuffs. Within hours, photos spread across news sites and social media. The myth was broken. Cheers erupted in some towns, while others mourned or braced for revenge. It was over. But for Mexico, the real battle was only beginning. After his capture, El Mencho was transferred under heavy guard to Mexico City. He faced charges of organized crime, murder, and international drug trafficking. U.S. prosecutors demanded extradition. Both governments promised transparency, but honestly, secrecy ruled the halls. Very few facts escaped the walls of the courthouse. Rumors erupted almost immediately. Some claimed El Mencho had died during the arrest, while others insisted he was negotiating deals behind closed doors. Photos and videos surfaced and vanished. His lawyers filed endless motions, arguing for rights and protections. The process was slow, tense, and surrounded by fear. In the months that followed, official statements confirmed he was alive and facing trial. But whispers of an official death or secret imprisonment lingered. Some believed the government wanted to erase him quietly, hoping to avoid a violent backlash from the CJNG. Yet the facts remained clear. El Mencho was no longer free. The king was dethroned, and Mexico's legal system, however fragile, now held the fate of its most infamous criminal. El Mencho's fall sent shockwaves through the CJNG. His lieutenants scrambled to fill the void. Some pledged loyalty to the old ways, while others pushed for new alliances or even outright war. The cartel fractured into rival factions, each hungry for power. In some regions, violence spiked as gunmen fought for control. Law enforcement tried to take advantage, launching raids and arresting dozens of CJNG leaders. But chaos followed. Smaller groups, once held in check by El Mencho's iron rule, now fought openly. The drug trade did not slow. It simply got bloodier and less predictable. Other cartels, like the Sinaloa and Nueva Plaza, seized the moment. They moved into CJNG territories, sparking fresh turf wars. Civilians paid the price, trapped between warring gangs and desperate soldiers. The power vacuum, instead of peace, brought more terror. Still, some experts argued that CJNG's deep roots and global networks meant its business would survive, even without El Mencho. The king was gone, but the empire still stood, fractured, yes, but not broken. El Mencho's journey from barefoot farmer to cartel kingpin is a lesson in the dark realities of Mexico's war on drugs. His rise exposed the failures of poverty, corruption, and weak institutions. His fall showed that even the most powerful criminals can be brought down, but at a steep cost. The cycle of violence did not end with his capture. For every El Mencho, there is another waiting in the shadows. The CJNG's violent tactics and business acumen have changed how cartels operate, making them more dangerous, more global, and harder to destroy. Yet, there are glimmers of hope. Communities that once lived in fear began to speak out. Some local leaders dared to rebuild, demanding justice and peace. The struggle is far from over, but the myth of El Mencho is now just that, a story, not a threat. His legacy is a warning. The fight is not just against kingpins, but against the roots of what makes them possible. El Mencho is gone, but his shadow lingers. The world must keep watching, vigilant, skeptical, relentless. The capture of one kingpin does not end the war. It only shifts the battlefield. Cartels adapt, violence mutates, and new leaders emerge. If you want to understand the real Mexico, the crime, the courage, the heartbreak, then stay tuned. Follow these stories, share them, speak out. Only together can we shine a light on the darkness. The fight is not over. The truth must be told. Stay with us for more deep, investigative crime stories that matter.